JJ McCarthy was the crown jewel of the 2021 recruiting class for Michigan football. He spent a year getting some spot snaps, some specialty looks at the quarterback position as a true freshman for the Michigan Wolverines in 2021. Is he the guy that Michigan should turn to for the 2022 football season at the helm in the quarterback room? Today we dive into that exact question, the case for JJ McCarthy as the starter for the Wolverines for this upcoming season starting on September 3rd. This is part 2 in a 3-part series. If you missed part 1, I made the case for Cade McNamara as the starter heading into this season for the Wolverines. Super relevant for this discussion. Make sure you click that video in the description below before diving into this one. And then part 3 is going to be what Michigan should do, in my opinion, with this quarterback battle. Okay, let's dive into number 1 here. At some point, JJ McCarthy will be the guy on Michigan's roster at the quarterback position. It's a matter of when, not if, with him. That's considering what we've heard out of camp as well. A lot of the reports that we're seeing reiterate that point as well. Getting him reps now with a solid, really solid surrounding cast of wide receivers and running backs as well as other quarterbacks, this should really help his development down the line for future play when he truly is the guy. Even if you think he is maybe the second best guy this year, time he would get at the starting role this year for this season will only help him better moving forward when he truly is the option for quarterback in 2023 and beyond. Number 2 here, you don't want him to get impatient in the quarterback room, right? I really don't think McCarthy is a risk to transfer, but he is the future, and at this point, you don't want to risk anything him leaving the program, right? That's not going to set up your program for success. You should do everything that you possibly can to make sure you retain your future and the future success of your program. Losing JJ McCarthy puts a ton of that in question. Again, I don't think that would be the case if he didn't start, but if he does start, you're almost taking that out of the scenario completely. There would be no reason for him to transfer with a start in the 2022 season here. Okay, number 3. The best version of JJ McCarthy is the ceiling of this offense. I think this is the strongest argument that anyone can have. He's a huge threat with his legs, something that McNamara simply doesn't have. He's got a stronger arm and naturally can just make more throws than McNamara can. Adding that, when he's at his absolute best, he can go toe-to-toe with just about any other QB in the nation. He has that ability to extend plays, to show that improvisation, and that's something that, especially in the game against Georgia, Michigan desperately needed when you went up against a defensive line that simply outmatched your offensive line. So having that ability, again, if he's able to realize that ceiling and play close to that throughout the season, that's maximizing the true potential of your offense. And by not starting him, you're possibly limiting that ceiling by a talent cap with McNamara. So you have to at least give your offense a shot at realizing its ceiling with JJ McCarthy. Number 4 here, Michigan may have greater reliance on explosiveness for the offense in 2022. 2021 season was greatly assisted by the defense, right? Mike McDonald defense ended the season at number 10 in SP Plus final rankings. So while defense this year has a lot of potential, that was a staggering stat, something that I don't think a lot of people really expected out of a first-year coordinator. And you had 2 of your best defensive ends really of all time in David Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson. Michigan does return decent talent across the board, but losing those guys, losing a guy like Dax Hill, veteran safety Brad Hawkins, again, another first-year coordinator in Jesse Minter, a lot of questions here, right? And for all of that to work out to be as good of a defense in 2021, that's kind of doubtful, right? So if you need the most dynamic version of your offense with maybe just a slight step back with the defense, you're going to need to score points more frequently, have those bigger plays. It may make sense to go with a guy like JJ McCarthy to try to maximize that explosiveness that his talent level brings to the offense. Number 5 here, more receivers to keep happy in 2022. Now, technically, this could apply to either McCarthy or McNamara, but if you're going to make a shift to more 5-wide or pass-heavy sets, put the ball in the hands of the quarterback who can be more of a run threat, use those legs to keep the defense honest, and the guy who has better arm talent, right? Throwing quick screens, getting more touches, even if they're not down the field touches, on screens, things like that. Utilize that arm talent of JJ McCarthy who has just a little bit more zip to the ball, you can do that more comfortably with JJ McCarthy than a guy like Cade McNamara, and you'll keep all those targets, those weapons that Michigan has on the offense, happy with the number of touches throughout the season. And that's it. I think it's a shorter list than McNamara. I think it's a little bit more simple, the case for JJ McCarthy here. But let me know your thoughts, okay? Heading into this season, where are you at? You've probably watched part 1 at this point. Again, if you haven't, go check that out. But do you think I'm being fair for both sides? Any ones that I missed for JJ McCarthy here? Just let me know. Part 3, again, coming soon. That'll be me sharing ideas for how I think Michigan should approach this. So stay tuned for that. Beyond that, thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Stay safe out there. As always, go blue.